have… See, the problem is, today you move into an apartment which is on your 10th floor and you're far removed from the earth and you have no sense of how things work on the land. We come from a pastoral culture where our wealth was always measured in terms of how many herds of cattle do you have. You just look back at the time of Mahabharata and other thing, they're always talking about herds of cattle. How many cattle did you have? This is the wealth. Why this was so is because we are a tropical country and we depend on monsoons. When the rains fail, those who had cows, their children survived. Those who do not have cows, their children died. This is a simple wisdom that we came to. So, an animal which gave us milk, which saved our children's lives, we treated it as sacred to our lives. Not only that, cows did not live in a separate cattle farm somewhere, they lived in our homes along with us. So there was an intimate relationship. So intimate, I must tell you this. One of my grand aunts who had a cow, all cows had names at one time, okay? This cow was called Lakshmi, very dear to her. At the age of 84 or 85, my grand-aunt passed away. This cow just came and stood in front of the house for about 6 days. Never ate anything, drank anything and died right there after 6 days. So that's the level of emotion that a cow is capable of. I have personally seen, when I was growing up, my grandmother always showing a particular cow and keep telling me that you are drinking the milk of this cow, this is your second mother. They were actually openly telling me, suppose your mother dies, I'm just a 2-year-old kid. These are days you were never supposed to utter death, the word death, but those days, because mothers could die. So my grandmother tell me, suppose your mother dies, this is your mother. She is the one who is nourishing you. Every day I'm told this. So every day I'm supposed to go and at least touch her and play with her for a few minutes a day. This was a part of our growing up. So naturally there was a huge emotion towards the animal, and I have personally seen that if you develop a certain intimacy with a cow, suppose you are going through some grief and some turmoil within yourself, you need not be in the presence of the cow, you are somewhere else. The cow will shed tears for you. So because it has human emotions, we said killing a cow amounts to murder. Eating a cow amounts to cannibalism. This is how it was seen in the past. Well, we can't go back to that time anymore. We will go into the deepest oceans and at the bottom of the ocean, what is there, we'll pick it up and eat it up. We have learned how to exploit everything on the planet, but in an agricultural nation, I want you to understand this. If you don't know this, sir, already, let me tell you this. 25% of India is turning into a desert in the next 10 to 15 years' time. How desertification happens means it's just this. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content that has to be there to call soil soil is 3 to 6%. 3% is the most minimum. But today, in many states like Punjab, Haryana, Marathwada, some parts of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, the organic content has gone down to 0.05%. That means in the next 3 to 5 years, this will become sand. If you remove the organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. If your soil becomes sand, then we say your nation is a desert, isn't it? How is this going away? I don't know, young educated people should be thinking about these things, for unfortunately we not doing this. See, you take 1 acre of land. If you take 1 acre of land, if you grow, let us say, 2 tons of some crop, what you have removed is 2 tons of topsoil. So if you want to put back organic content into the soil, there are only two ways: leaves from the trees and animal waste. Trees are already gone long time ago. Animals, you want to eat it up. How will you preserve the soil? If our soil turns into a desert, how are people going to live? With 1.3 billion population, very concentrated population, if you do not put the leaves of the tree and the animal waste back into the land, you will finish the nation. A nation which has a 12-month cropping system and which has agricultural history of 8 to 10,000 years, longest agricultural history on the planet. Now if you take away the soil and turn it into sand, is it a great thing? You have to somehow preserve it. At some point, at some point in near future, we have to come to this. If you have 10 acres of land, you must have this many trees and this many animals. This will become mandatory. If it doesn't become mandatory, there will be no soil left in the nation.
See, it's always been said, faith moves mountains. Yes, but it freezes your mind. But the greatest crime you can do on this planet is to move a mountain. You should not move a mountain, it should be where it is. It is not just dropped from somewhere, it's grown because of various forces functioning in a particular way. Phenomenal activity has happened to build a mountain. You should never move a mountain. But people with frozen minds always want to move a mountain. Okay, having said that, when we say faith, it's an import for this culture. We have never had faith in this culture. You must look back little beyond 1,000 years since we've been under occupation. Here we have been told always, your life is your karma. Karma means action. Whose action? Your action. So what we are saying is, your life is entirely your making. There is no someone sitting up there and managing this for you. This is entirely yours. But for every action that you perform, whether physical, mental, emotional, energy-wise, whatever kind of action you perform, there is bound to be a consequence. If you're ready for the consequence, do whatever. If you're going to cry about the consequence, control the action right now. Based on this, now you came to food. See, the food consumption has been looked at very carefully in this country. If you just bring this back, the world will be healthy, do you understand? Here we have identified different type of people, what they should eat. If you're doing menial jobs, how you should eat. If you're doing trading, how you should eat. If you're into spiritual process, how you should eat. If you're into education, how you should eat. Why this is each person needs a different type of building of the body. You want to run 100 meters next to Mr. Bolt, what kind of food you should eat? You just want to work in Delhi, what kind of food you should eat? You want to think in a certain way, what kind of food you should eat? For all these, we have very clear prescriptions. Now, when it comes to food, what it means is, we are taking another life, whatever that is, it may be plant life, animal life, whatever. You're taking another life, ingesting it, and you have to make it your life. That's a whole thing. What is your life, what is that life if you look at it? All life on this planet is coming from the earth. This body is also the same soil, this is also same soil. If there is a earthworm, that is also same soil. But see how it has become, how this has become, how that has become. If I give you… you like a mango or a banana?
Mango.
Mango. I know, you're ruling the state right now. Now, if you eat a mango, this mango becomes a woman in you. If I eat a mango, the same mango becomes a man in me. If a cow eats a mango, the same mango becomes a cow in the cow. Why is this happening? There is a certain information or software in you Whatever you eat, it transforms it into a woman. If I eat, it transforms it into a man. If a cow eats, that becomes a cow. So every life is happening the way it is happening because of a certain dimension of information, or in modern terminology, let's call it software. There is a certain software, which is an arrangement of information. Now, the idea is to eat as simple a software as possible. If you eat that kind of life, which is a very simple software, your ability to override that software and make it entirely a part of you is very good. As that software gets complex, more and more complex, your ability to integrate it goes down. So especially if it's a creature which has some sense of thought and emotion, if it has emotion, then you should not eat it. This is the understanding. An animal which has any emotion displays certain emotions, especially if it displays emotion which is near to human emotion, you should not eat it because it will not integrate itself, that animal nature will start manifesting itself. Or in other words, in India, today maybe in cities people do not know, you see in the villages, people have very intimate relationship with the cow. They have drunk the milk of that cow, their children are drinking the milk of that cow. There is a very deep relationship. If you do not know this, cow is one creature. If something happens to you and you are in some kind of grief or misery, you don't have to be near the cow. Wherever the cow is in your house, it'll start shedding tears for you. You know, I've seen this with my eyes, I couldn't believe. When somebody is dead in the house, what does the cow know? It is somewhere, simply tears flowing. So when it has such deep emotions, if you kill it, it's like killing a human being, it's murder or it's cannibalism. So because of that, this is not a faith thing, this is not a religious thing. We thought this is a fundamental sense. Why, when we are hungry, why can't I cut you up and eat you? What's wrong? What's wrong?
But what you're saying should be about many more animals than just the cow.
Yes, of course.
And when it becomes about only the cow, then there is certainly a perception that it is a political decision or a religious decision.
No, I'm not talking about whatever the laws.
This is not about people getting up and saying it's cruel to be a meat eater. That would be a different argument.
I'm not even talking about cruelty, even cutting a plant is cruel, in my experience. But you have to do it. But if you're conscious of it, you will do it to the minimum possible extent, not do it wantonly. That's the whole thing. Now about this political ban about cow slaughter or whatever, this has many things. One thing is there is a sensitivity. Once you drink milk from the cow, she's like your mother. Killing your mother and eating her up is something people cannot digest in this country. Still 80% of the people belong to that category and there's a huge emotion. Such an emotion which, because they've always been made to be docile in a certain way, they have not violently reacted to it. But in some places, it has happened in villages and other places. There is already a beef ban in many villages just by a norm, not by any law, that you don't bring these kind of things into the village. I am not saying you must ban it or not ban it, I am saying the sensitivities of your population, without considering, you can't go do this blatantly. Because it is growing, it's becoming a growing business. India is becoming a major exporter of beef.
Yes.
That's not right. Even if somebody ate something, it is up to them, it's their personal taste, whatever. But now you're promoting it and you're making it grow, there is serious concern, but our people don't express it. Our people don't go out on the street and not going to kill anybody because they killed a cow. So, ban is not what is needed, more education was needed rather than banning.
But you haven't spoken to what happens when faith repeatedly seems to come into conflict with individual liberty. The banning of books. There were people killed in Paris because they were seen to have mocked, the Prophet Muhammad and so on. So where does this end? Where do we stop violence and politics in the name of religion?
If you want that to stop, you must understand this. You're saying today, it's not today. In the last 2000 years, this is the history of the world. Continuously it's happening all over the world.
Suicide bombers are a new phenomenon.
Well, you've forgotten about the Crusades and the other things which have not been reported in history. Hundreds of millions of people have been killed in the name of God, all right? It's new to us here, but even here, uh, thousands, hundreds and thousands have been slaughtered in northern part of India just because of the faith that they belong to when the invasions happened. Nobody writes about it because we never took the pen and wrote, somebody wrote history for us the way they like it. Because all history is sponsored by kings, they wrote the history the way they want and they said they're great emperors. But what they did was absolutely terrible. So you need to understand, faith is a new thing to us. When I say new, in this country which has 15,000 years of history behind us, 1,000 years is new for us. We've still not come to terms with it, we're still struggling with it. But struggling within ourselves, not creating a struggle on the street, because that's not our nature, because here always we've been drilled into us, whatever you do, there'll be a consequence for you. Even if you come back another life, it won't leave you, it'll come back to you. This has been told, this controls people, this is a tremendous technology, please understand this. And it's not simply a fake thing, it is a real thing. Everything that you think, feel, act, there is a consequence. Not because there is somebody thinking he must give you a reward or a punishment. It happens in your own chemistry.
As we come to the end of this video, I invite you to simply sit with what you have just heard. No need to rush into judgment or quickly agree or disagree. Just pause, breathe. Sometimes when we hear things that challenge our understanding or our habits, it stirs something inside, and that's okay. That steering is not a sign of conflict. It's a sign of life, a sign that something deep within you is still open to listen, questioning, wondering. This isn't about being right or wrong. This isn't about choosing sides. It's about becoming more aware of what we eat, how we live, and what kind of energy we want to carry in our bodies and minds. And in that awareness, there is a room for softness, for care, for deeper connection, not just with other people, but with the very life around us. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't have to take a stance. Just allow yourself the space to feel whatever comes up for you. Maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's discomfort, maybe it's a memory, maybe it's nothing at all. Whatever it is, it's welcome here. When we grow up in a culture, we absorb its value, traditions, and practices. Some of those we question, some we follow without even realizing why. And once in a while, something or someone offer us a new way of seeing what we have always taken for granted. That doesn't mean everything changes in an instant, but it plants a seed. And over time, that seed may take root in its way we never imagined. Whether you are someone who has always respected animals or someone who never really gave it much thought, whether your choices are shaped by religions, culture, health, or personal experiences, this moment is not asking for guilt. It is simply offering a gentle pause, a chance to look at again, maybe with a fresh eyes. Every living being experiences life in its own way. And as a human beings, our gift is that we can become aware of that. We can feel, we can empathize, we can choose. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to simply become a little more conscious of the impact we have on others, on ourselves, and on the world we share. Thank you for staying with us in this conversation, being open to hearing perspective that may be new to you, unfamiliar, or even uncomfortable. That takes courage. And that courage, however quiet, is what makes real transformation, what makes real possibility, real transformation. As always, do remember this is not a summary of Sadhguru's word, it is simply mind repetition of the deep wisdom he imparted. Kindly keep them separated and do not misunderstand. Thank you for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, please take care. Namaskaram.
चंद्रचूड़ शिव शंकर पार्वती रमणा निनगे नमो नमो।